What's up everyone, Patrick here, welcome back. And in this next example, what we gotta do is we gotta take each pair of these numbers here and we have to insert a greater than sign or a less than sign that's going to make this inequality be true. And so what we're going to be doing is comparing each pair of numbers. So starting here, we got negative, the absolute value of -6, and then -2 pi. Now with these kinds of questions, sometimes it helps to make a number line. So if we have a number line, let's say here is 0. -2 pi, notice that this here, we know pi is what? 3.14. So -2 times 3.14, that's going to be like -6.28 around. So that's going to be here, a negative value to the left of 0. And then this here, some of these numbers you're going to have to simplify a little bit. So notice here we have negative absolute value of -6. Now the absolute value of -6 is +6. And then we have like this -1 in front. So we'll have negative +6, which is just -6. And -6, how does it compare to -6.28? Well, it's closer to 0. So that's going to be like right there. So this is not to scale over here. I'm just kind of showing you where that -6 would be in relation to the -6.28. And so notice that -6 is actually greater than -6.28. Anything that's more right is going to be greater than. As you go on the right, to the right of the number line, things get greater and greater. So this here, we would put a greater sign like that, right? Or -6.28 is less than -6. Now over here we got -√3 and then -17/10. Now √3 is about it's around 1.73. But when we have this negative in front, it'll change to -1.73. So that's going to be, if we erase this over here, that's going to be like over here. And then -17/10, if we change that to a decimal, to keep it in the same format as that, to easily compare, that's going to be -1.7. And so -1.7, that's going to be over here. Right, so -1.7 is greater than -1.73, and so that's the sign like that in order for this inequality here to hold true. Or -√3 is less than -17/10. And then we got -1/5, -1/4. Now -1/5, sometimes it helps to switch these to a decimal. So -1/5, that's -0.2. And then -1/4 is -0.25. So notice -0.25 is more negative than -0.2. So -0.25, and then we got -0.2. And so notice that this here is less than this. So it would be like that. Or -0.2 is greater than -0.25. And then over here for the last one, we got the absolute value of 4 minus pi. And then we have negative the absolute value of pi minus 4. Now 4 minus pi, notice that this is going to be a positive number here. So if we draw another number line, 3.14, that's what pi is. So 4 minus 3.14 is going to give us a positive number. The absolute value of a positive is still a positive. So that's going to be over here, this number. While this number, notice that pi minus 4, so 3.14 minus 4 would give us a negative number. And then the absolute value of that would be positive, but then we have a negative in front, which is going to take that positive number, change it to a negative. So this whole thing, notice it's going to be a negative number. That's going to be somewhere over here. And so notice that this here is less than that. So it would be like that, right? Or this value, this positive number, is greater than this negative number. over here. Right, so sometimes you got to sort of work it through logically. Sometimes you got to put them in the same format, like we put these two in decimals to compare them. But either way, put them on a number line and then you could see whether you should put a greater than sign or a less than sign.